This is Coach Lee, and I'm going to guide you in counting your blessings, and I'm going to tell you why it's very important that you do for your anxiety, and not just to banish anxiety, but to help you feel good in place of it, because we're not just going for neutral. So I'm going to cover 7 things that you can count as blessings, that you will be able to find blessings within these categories. The first one is relationships, and some of you may have been involved in a breakup, and that may be hurting right now. But you can find a friendship, you can find a family member, you can find someone who you have a relationship with that you consider a blessing. And take a second, name that person, think about a wonderful time that you had with that person, a positive experience, and be thankful for that person and say thank you. This is a great way to pray, as a matter of fact. The second blessing is physical nourishment or food. And think about that. You get to eat. You may be on a diet, you may be eating less, you may be fasting, but there is food. You will be able to eat. You have eaten. You have nourished your body. And that is something to be thankful for. Number 3 is potential. There's all kinds of potential around you for positive things. You have the ability to contribute to your life in ways that will bless it in the future. And so there are other blessings out there that you have not even acquired yet, but you have the potential. You have been given this gift to accomplish and even to simply receive. So there's the potential to receive where you don't even do anything to get it, to deserve it. It just happens by blessing of God or by blessing of people who are in your life. Number 4 is good news. Think about good news. Yes, I'm not denying that there might be bad news. But at the moment, we're just going to focus on the good news. And maybe that's that the weather was better than we thought it would be. Or that you simply woke up today. Whatever the good news is, and take all the time you need to find it, to think about it. So write it down and take the time that is necessary to list several bits of good news. And focus on them. Think about them. Think about how life would be different without them. Think about how life is positive because of them. Feel thankful. Number 5 is to list lessons you've learned recently. Maybe it's just one thing that you have learned recently that you can think of. Be thankful for it. Think about how life will be different now that you know it. Now that you have acquired this knowledge that you didn't have before. Be thankful that you learned this lesson. Number 6 is mercy shown you. Maybe it's someone forgiving you when you wronged them. Maybe it's some kind of fine or penalty that you owed that was forgiven you. Maybe it's God's forgiveness for sin. But we all receive mercy in different forms. And so think about a few of those, many of those, whatever you have in your life at the moment. Write it down. Think about it. Feel thankful. Number 7, be thankful for life. You have it in this moment. Be thankful for it. And that's important. It's important we do these things because, for one, it takes focus off the negative. And so we can actually see that there are some positives. It gives us a break from our anxiety, our thoughts, and focus on the negative and brings them to the positive. And that balances our perspective because no matter how bad the situation, there are positives that we can choose and claim in this moment as positive. And that's a powerful thing to do. The third reason that we count blessings and we feel thankful is because it feels good. I remember one client, a coaching client, actually telling me, I feel like a rich man now, whereas I didn't before. And it was simply because he had been able to count his blessings. He had been able to go through and see all these positive, good things he has, and it made him feel rich. Another reason to count your blessings is because gratefulness is very powerful. Grateful people are happy people. And if we're talking about just blessings that we get from God, if we want those blessings, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be blessed and wanting good things and good things for our family. As long as we're not selfish and we see life as only about getting, it's fine and good to want good things. There's nothing wrong with that. And so feeling grateful for those and acknowledging those, putting focus on those, lifting them up where we can see them is actually a great way to thank God for those blessings. Because if you think about it, if you do something good for someone and they don't put focus on it, they don't seem to notice it, you might not do it again, not because you think, well, they didn't appreciate me, but because it was like it didn't matter that much to them. And so you feel like maybe your effort to do this is not really justified, that it's maybe not as good as you thought it was or as they thought it was going to be. And so it's important to celebrate. Look for excuses in your life to celebrate. We probably know people who complain a lot, and they're always seeming to look for negatives to complain about, excuses, and just, it's like they have a magnifying glass on the negatives. What if we decided to do the opposite? What's called optimism. And I'd like to see people change from pessimists to optimists. And it's where we simply decide that good could happen, good has happened, and I expect more good to happen. It's where we decide to put our eyes on the good as much as possible for the simple reason that it feels good. What's the point of even having good things, of having blessings, if we're not going to actually acknowledge them, look into them, think about them, embrace them, and just celebrate that they exist? It's true living to actually do those things and to examine the blessings we have. And I encourage you to do that. I encourage you regularly to take out paper and a pencil. If you only have your phone, that's fine too. But go through the list that I gave you and identify the blessings you have in all these categories. You will feel better. It will help you to realize that life is not all negative and that there are positives, and it will help you with anxiety. This has been Coach Lee. Please subscribe to this channel, and thank you for watching.